Hey everybody, it's it's Michael B. Happy Monday. Tonight on Chill and Chat with Michael B. We're yet again going to be taking a look at CES. It's the problem with doing a show on Monday nights and they make their CES announcements on a Tuesday. So we've had a whole week to digest this. Let's take a look at what was announced from Arcade1Up. We're going to look at the positives, we're going to look at the negatives, and then we're going to do some future speculation on what they're going to release the rest of the year. Sit back, relax, hope you have a good time. This is Chill and Chat with Michael B. I'm so thrown off because I go back and forth between StreamYards and OBS. And when I'm using OBS, I can't hear anything what's happening on the screen. With StreamYards, I'll hear my intro and the videos play and all that, but I can't hear anything when I'm using OBS. So hopefully everything sounds good. Hopefully this is all fun, and you guys are going to be enjoying yourself. And thank you so much for coming in. I know there's been a million videos about CES. I've probably bored you to death. I've been in many of them. We did, the night of CES. I did my own reaction video. The night of CES, I did a video with so many other great YouTubers on 19K Fox's stream. We did Super Game Room dudes. I was hoping to do a lot more coverage, but my wife had the thumb down on me this past week because with the new baby coming in a little bit, she really was pushing to do nesting. So I've been spending all my time trying to get the spare room cleaned out and ready. I was supposed to paint today, but it just didn't work out. Oh, Kongs RS, is that Michael B under the RGT hoodie? I got no hoodie on, man. I just got my beanie. And if you can go back, and watch enough of my videos, this is a Michael B original beanie or stocking cap. And no, it doesn't get cold in my arcade. It's just, this is a hat I've had since 2011. It's an American Eagle hat, and I found it the other day and I just started wearing it again because my hair is terrible and I don't like trying to get it ready for the show. Thank you so much, console fanboy. Zohar, my friend, I'm so excited for you. Out of everybody, Zohar was probably the happiest with the CES announcement because after over 2 years, I've been watching YouTube, I've been watching different live talking shows, I've been doing it myself, and there's been one constant throughout all that time: Zohar reaching out to Arcade1Up, asking them to make a proper Mortal Kombat cabinet. And despite the fact we don't have Pacina on the side, Zohar, I think you're getting it. We might not have the best controls, it's going to have those stock controls, but it's got the right shape, it's got the right art, sort of, and it's going to have online play, so I am so happy for you, my brother. It's made with bits of Real Eagle, yeah. A tool, I don't know if I have ever watched it. That's a good point. You want to see some OG Michael B playing SNES games? Kongs, yeah, as a favor to you, because you're the best, I got to go back and I got to finish Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. I think I'm on Dungeon 5, so I'll get back at that and finally finish that series, and I'm going to be doing more console stuff going forward. You know that. Zohar says, I will still buy it even for $6.99. We're going to talk about that because I am interested in the price point of the legacy cabinets. I had about a million different videos I wanted to do all last week. Didn't do any of them because I've been doing that whole baby room project, so we'll get most of it out tonight, and who knows, maybe I'll do them anyways. That's one of them. How much are these cabinets going to be going forward? Sony 4K, they failed on Centipede with the horizontal screen. That's definitely one of the negatives, which we're going to get to tonight, brother, so thank you so much for the comment. MK Specials actually work with the controls. Yeah, that's the other thing. For some reason, I have many Street Fighter Arcade1Up cabinets. I've had them all, and I can't get anything to work. But Reset Rudy, yeah, I mean, I can do everything on my Mortal Kombat cabinets. Never had a problem doing any of the moves. How to Bachelor with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here and watching this stuff. C-Mart the Centertainer, congrats, my brother, and your family. Thank you very much, man. All right, guys, so tonight we're going to be talking about CES 2022. And as you know, Arcade1Up announced its lineup last Tuesday, first thing in the morning. They released there's going to be 3 new legacy cabinets, and they officially announced the Pro line or Pro series of cabinets. So for the 3 Arcade1Up legacy cabinets that they are re-releasing, it's Atari. I probably said that in my weird Newfoundland accent, but it's Atari Legacy, which is now going to have online leaderboards and online play. I think that one's going to be mostly online leaderboards. It's going to have 14 games instead of 12, bringing back Lunar Lander, keeping Arca R for whatever reason, and I forget what else they're adding there. I could go look at it, but wow. So they're doing that, and it looks beautiful. They did such an amazing job making this cabinet look like the real thing, doing things that Arcade1Up doesn't normally do. So it's got a brand new form factor. It's got that J panel that kind of goes down. Like, it looks like the original Centipede cabinet. So amazing job. Then we move on to Pac-Mania, and I've been saying this nonstop, laughing about it. There's going to be a new Pac-Man this year, and yeah, there's a new Pac-Man. They went with a Pac-Mania shell. It's a Namco Legacy cabinet, re-released again. Same thing again, 14 games instead of 12. Online leaderboards, Wi-Fi play for the games would make sense, and I can't remember the extra games they added. I think it's Galaga 88. I can't remember what else. So, I mean, this is not for me because I don't like that form factor. I'm going to stick with my Namco Legacy with the correct, Pac-Man form factor, but that online leaderboards does excite me. Then we move over to the big one, Mortal Kombat. It's going to have online play. It's got that original Mortal Kombat 1 art style. The cabinet looks absolutely beautiful, and the cabinet's form factor is just great. Like, I love the Midway Legacy cabinet, the first version. However, my God, is it uncomfortable to play with the Street Fighter edges out coming up on the side. So I love the fact they're going with a more traditional shape here that looks like it's going to be super, super comfortable to play with. Very excited about that. Again, this one has 14 games, adding in Clax. Can't remember what else, but it kept Paperboy. So Arcade1Up, if you're out there listening, Arcade1Up, please take Paperboy off, put something else on there. Swing Machine, are you just in console kits? I don't know. He's got those cords there. Is it cold in your room? No, it's just I don't have my hair done. So if I'm wearing a backwards hat or this beanie as it is now, that's because I did not do my hair, nor did I want to try to do it again. I also have really frizzy, like thick, horrible Brillo pad hair. So if I don't basically take care of it and shape it exactly when it's still wet and I get out of the shower, it's done for the day. So edgy beanie, whatever you want to call it. It's something to cover up my mop of hair. They also added Vanilla MK3. I think people were hoping for MK4. Who knows? No, P-dubs, we are not talking E3. This is the final, definitive, end of the sentence, period, word on Arcade1Up CES. And we'll talk about E3 next week. Sort of, we're going to be talking about E3. So those were the legacy cabinets. Well, let's talk about the pros. The pros for these legacy cabinets is, my God, Arcade1Up has listened. They haven't done away with the swan shape, and each cabinet has its own unique form factor that tries so well to recreate the original form factor of the arcade machine in the arcade, if that makes sense. So good job to Arcade1Up on doing that. These new form factors make these look like real arcade machines. Then let's talk about what the other good things are. Coin doors. The molded coin doors are on every single one of these cabinets. No longer do we have stickers. No longer do we have weird pictures of M. Bison. No longer do we have the game names. We have molded coin doors, and these things look fantastic. Should be on every single cabinet, so great job there. Again, going back to Mortal Kombat, we have a more realistic arcade control panel. It's going to have a little bit more space, especially on the side, so that's going to be more comfortable to play with. Those are the big positives from these legacy cabs. Oh, the online play. The online play is killer. Online play is killer. So for Centipede, all those Atari games, it's so amazing. So amazing to put your awesome scores up like in Tempest, Centipede, but it gets so much more exciting when you get to play other people in the community, like the people that are playing Tron right now, Class of 81, trying to get your scores out there against the other people. Jennifer Yabutt, you know this is going to be fun to do, so great job there. Hobby Hands, $2 super chat, no sympathy MB, at least you have here. That's true. At least I have here. I know. I'm sorry. I've always had thick coarse hair. I've never had like a nice head of hair. But, that is the fallback on that. I'll probably never go bald. So I'm sorry, Hobby Hands. Thank you very much. So those are kind of the big things. The negatives, we're not really getting any new titles here. These are just the legacy cabinets, and a lot of people feel they're going to be rehashed. And there's some debate about the term evergreen, because people considered evergreen to be the exact same cab over and over and over again. But what John D has openly said, he said it on 19K Fox's show last night. I'm sorry, Mike Dalton. Mike Dalton, my friend. Good night, Mike. Bedtime. Thanks for staying up, trying to stay along with us. Have a good night, Mike. I'm sorry if I put you to sleep, brother. Okay, so I got caught off guard. So the negatives were there was no new titles. The conversation about the Evergreen, 19K Fox was talking about it last night on his show. John D came in and said, my comment in Evergreen was every year we would offer legacy cabs from these brands. They're going to have different skin, maybe different features. So it's not so much, hey, there's 19K Fox. He knows what I'm talking about. Thanks, brother. So it's not so much that these are new cabinets, or these are the Evergreen legacy product again, just with different form factors, different options, and a couple more added games. That's kind of what's being explained. So people are going to be upset about that too, saying, wow, we really didn't get anything new then. So we won't talk about the Pro Series. Let's talk about that. Why didn't Arcade1Up announce any new games in the 3/4 scale at CES this year? I touched on it in Super Game Room, dudes. I said, guys, listen, last year during CES on 1UP Weekly, they announced so many new games. They announced X-Men. They announced yada, yada, yada. I can't remember all of them. But the big ones they announced were Killer Instinct and Dragon's Lair. And guess what? Neither one of those games have even released yet. Neither one. Not a single one of them have released yet. So this year, I think they're taking a different approach where they don't want to announce too much too early. Because you got to remember, we still got a bunch of cabs to come out. We've got Ridge Racer. We've got T2. We've got Killer Instinct still to hit store shelves. We've got Dragon's Lair. That Golden T, whatever that is, I don't know if it's a pro line. It's being said that it's a pro line. But is it a pro line? Because they called it something else on that website. And the other thing, too, about that, Twisted Chris, he also said that the Arcade1Up Pro line, and he talks to John D a lot, was a website exclusive. So why is this other company, Liberty Games, selling something that's supposed to be an Arcade1Up exclusive? It's all very confusing. We're definitely going to need to wait to get clarification on that. So with all those cabinets out there, I don't think they wanted to announce too much right now because it may take away interest from some of the other cabs coming out. And you got to think about that. Every year, it looks like now we know a set schedule around, September to October. That's when we're going to get our announcement possibly on a driver. That's when we're going to get our announcement on the new racing cab. Maybe that's going to be a one-a-year type thing. Console fanboy, you're getting ahead of things here. We're going to talk about that. I agree. Blitz is coming. But it's not going to be announced yet. And we got to talk. We got to talk about that in future predictions. So what I think they were hoping to do this time, they weren't trying to take away from any of the games that are already supposed to be coming out. They still want you to go out and buy your Killer Instincts, despite announcing the Pro line later on. And they still want you to go buy the new cabinets they have coming out and just telling you about the updates to the legacy cabinets. That's their strategy now. That doesn't mean there's not a ton more coming out this year. It just means they're playing it safe right now. They still have too much up in the air. The other thing I was worried about, that I commented about and I was thinking, they announced so much last year that Here's the thing. They announced so much last year that due to the changing world that we live in with all the shipping problems, other things like that, they couldn't get everything out within the calendar year. So I think they're trying to be a little bit more proactive of understanding the landscape for shipping and trying to hold back on some of the things they're announcing now because they don't know for sure how long it's going to take for that to finish production and actually get out in consumers' hands. That's my guess. So I know everybody was upset. We didn't get any new announcements. I think they're still coming. I think they're just sitting back now and holding tight. So I'm sorry if you weren't excited about what was announced for the Legacy cabinet. I know a lot of people said, this is amazing. This is going to be so good for new people coming in and they can get these games. But there are upgrades. There are upgrades. But let's talk about some of the negatives here. We just talked about these being rehashes of games. I do want to say thank you so much, Stephen C., for joining my OnlyFans for 6 months. Golden Tee will be a semi-pro series, $800. I don't know. I don't know much about the Golden Tee. I think people are jumping to conclusions because they found an ad, and I don't know what the answer is, Chris. I'm trying to figure out. So, yeah, Bob Oif makes a really good comment. MK Online is new. Even though it's still going to be called a Legacy cabinet, and even though it has so many of the exact same games, it is going to be a brand new cab. It's going to kind of be like Street Fighter 2 Big Blue. And the thing I like about that is I right now have both Big Blue and my Capcom Legacy. And the difference is because they have such diverse game lineups between the two. And realistically, I probably would have preferred if Street Fighter Big Blue had the same lineup as the Capcom Legacy. Even though there's awesome games on Big Blue, it's just there's stuff on there like Final Fight. There's stuff on there like 1944, Ghouls and Ghosts, and Strider to a lesser degree. Basically the games on the Final Fight cabinet that I do not want to say goodbye to. So if Capcom Legacy had came out again as Big Blue, I would have been pretty excited about it. So I will agree that's a new cab. Akuma Rev, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. R.I.P. Bob Saget, 100%. I grew up on TGIF and watching Family Matters, so R.I.P. Bob Saget, and also America's Funniest Home Videos, right, guys? You day one MK buyer or waiting? I'm probably going to be a day one MK buyer, Rev. I would say that this is going to be one of those cabs that I dump out. I'll dump out my Wave Legacy midway and just bring this one in. That's 100% for sure. I'm going to get that, no problem. Console fanboy, I'm trying so hard to behave, but I'm mad at iArcade again. I bought the machine, but I'm losing faith. Where are the games? Oh, Zohar, I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much for the super chat. I think the reality with iArcade, and everybody knows this, that some of the games that you're waiting on and looking for, you're playing the long term on. It's kind of, I even said it in my review, before you buy this cabinet, go online, look at the games that they have there now, and that'll give you a pretty good idea of what the lineup's like. And if you see anything that interests you, pick it up. But I'm very clear on that. You have to look at the lineup that's there. And I don't know. It's like a lot of people bought the MVSX and they said, yeah, eventually there's going to be game packs sold. Like, you're hoping for something that may never come, and you will always be disappointed when you go that way. I'm sorry, brother. I'm hoping they pull some stuff out of a hat, rabbit out of a hat. What's the one you want to see? The basketball game? I can't remember exactly, but yeah, hopefully they can nail it. Thanks again for the super chat. Conti's saying the same thing. iArcade's slow with new games. It's been a while since we've seen some new games from iArcade. I get it. Stephen C., thank you, Michael B. I ordered Tron from the Brick today. Looking forward to the 18th. You'll love it, man. Good luck. I know I was a pretty big advocate about controls and stuff like that. But again, it's kind of a minority right now. Some people have had issues with durability with the stick, where the stick broke off. I haven't experienced that problem. I think I had a problem with the encoder board or something with my wires. I had a freak problem. Other people have had problems with their spinners. Guess what, guys? Every single cabinet Arcade1Up puts out, it's probably about like a 5% rate where something goes wrong with the encoder board or something like that. The shit happens. But it doesn't mean that every cabinet's broke. I know lots of people have Tron, have had no issues, and love it. So I just want to put that out there, Stephen C. Hopefully you're in that group too, because this is really a special cabinet. Tons of games on iArcade. Everything is good if you play eggs. And Zohar, if I'm not mistaken, aren't you the eggs world champion? You don't have to behave, man. There's nothing wrong with providing constructive criticism to a company. I've said it myself about the iArcade. Like, I would like to see specific things. And I'm always clear on that. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know if you can hear that in the background. It sounds like my daughter is crying a little bit, and I don't know why. I have a huge backlog on everything How to Bachelor. How to Bachelor. No, I still haven't determined if it's the encoder board. I did get an encoder board from Bkong today, and I loaded it up on my machine, and things are working a little bit better. I don't know. I think I'm having a variety of problems. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's something on the encoder board or something with wires. I'm not 100% sure. Sterling Hall. Sterling, you had a crack in your stick as well. Sterling is right now the record holder in Tron. I don't think his score is going to be broken anytime soon. How did everything go with your stick after? Did anything further progress, or is everything still good? There it is. Scarlet misses Uncle Dubs. 100% agree. I can't help it. That's how I say it. Arcade. Arcade. Let's talk about some of the other negatives. One of the big ones that I said that was staring everybody right in the face was Centipede. I mean, they went out of their way to do everything so well with that Centipede cab. Everything is absolutely amazing, but yet they went with the horizontal screen, so that gets a thumbs down. That's a negative for me. Absolutely negative for me on that one. Arcade1Up, if you're going to make a Centipede cab, if you're going to make it the marquee game on the cabinet, thank you for doing everything else. But you got to go with a vertical screen. You have to match the screen orientation to the main game on the cabinet. I understand John D has come out and he said, listen, man, it is what it is. There's like 3 or 4 Atari games that fit that cabinet that are vertical screen. And then the rest are all horizontal. So you're going to go with the 80-20. But if that's the case, do Missile Command. Do Crystal. Oh man, a Crystal Castles cabinet. That'd be beautiful. I know it would be harder to get in stores and sell, but if you're going to make a screen with a horizontal monitor, that has to be the marquee. You cannot make a marquee and then boom, do a different screen. Now, Nate, 100% right. Horizontal screen isn't as bad as it sounds. On my Tempest, it's good. It works fine. It's not perfect though. Like for me, I want to see the screen. This is hard to explain. I don't really treat my Arcade1Ups so much like multicades. I'll play the other games on there, but I buy it for the marquee game, and I want the marquee game to be as right as possible, if that makes sense. I understand what you're saying. Horizontal screen isn't as bad as it sounds. I agree to an extent. How about a kitten fighting game? We'll call it Kitten Instinct. We'll make millions. Thank you so much, Mad Astra Gaming. I'll tell you a funny story. I was having trouble going to sleep last night, and I threw on Last Action Hero, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think one of the greatest crimes of our generation is the fact that we got total Last Action Hero, but we never got a real Jack Slater film. Like, anybody who wants to, go watch Last Action Hero and tell me that a real Jack Slater film wouldn't have been badass. Like, it would have been so badass. Anyways, what struck me and where I'm going with this is, as they were first walking into the police studio, you see Sharon Stone, or Sharon Stone lookalike, I think it's actually Sharon Stone, walk out wearing her garb from Basic Instinct. And then, like, I'm putting all the pieces together, the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon here, that Sharon Stone also played Arnold's wife in Total Recall, and I was like, there's just so much to think about here. Anyways, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. I agree. Kitten fighting game. Papa Brad's Gaming, I'm getting the new Atari Legacy 100%. I don't know if I am. I love the idea of the score chasing, but man, oh man, I think with that one, I'll hold out for a pro Atari cabinet. You heard me right. I'm not saying that I'm just not going to get an Atari cabinet, because I already have one, obviously. I'll wait for the Pro. We'll come back to that concept a little later, too. Danny DeVito's The Animated Cat 2. Yes, Danny DeVito from Twins. Like, there's so much good with Last Action Hero. One of the best movies ever. I know everybody hates it. I just love, 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 love. Will there be parts in the future, or are we screwed? Oh, Jason Mucha, I'm sorry if my audio is dropping out. I don't know why it would be doing that. I think my wife may have dropped my mic the other day when she was here in the arcade. Well, hopefully not. So hopefully that's not a problem for everybody. And I watched the Hank Scorpio episode just the other night, man. Tempest is B.A. Billy Gunn-esque. Yeah. Hey, Cameron McCaskellin, what's happening, brother? Girthy guitarist, I'm running out of room. I need an awesome new game, not a new cab with the same games. I want T2, but not a 17-inch screen. I 100% agree with you. But it's tough. I know we are going to get new games. We're going to get a lot of new games this year. So we'll see where it goes. Trust me, we're going to get new games. T2, we're going to come back to that when we talk about Proline, because there's so much to talk about with Proline. So much. Thank you very much, Matt Asher Gaming. T-1000 cameo in the movie. I don't remember the T-1000 cameo. Like, I still laugh at the Sylvester Stallone cameo from Judgment Day. So, a great soundtrack, 100%. AC/DC Big Gun, like, when that comes on, it's... And then, what is it? Is it Metallica? The Metallica or Megadeth song at the beginning that plays for the Jack Slater intro. Oh, man, I love Last Action Hero. All the 12-in-1 cabinets are great in my opinion. Bang, buck. And it's going to be the same thing with this Legacy line. For people that didn't upgrade to the Legacy line from their Wave 1 cabinets, now is a really good time because you get even more games. The difference is mainly on like the way it looks. But I'll also caution you on that as well, too, because don't worry about it. Like, for me with the Namco Legacy, like right now I'm saying I'm sticking with my original Namco Legacy. But, like John D said, these are evergreen products. We know what happened last year. The Namco Legacy came out with a Galaga Legacy cabinet as well. So, here's the question. What's to say that Pac-Mania releases, beginning of the year, Namco Legacy, 5 months down the line, we don't get a Dig Dug cabinet, or we don't get something else. Always a possibility. So it's the tough thing. I know Raymond Reed. I know exactly what you're saying. Rehash, but they're not serving you specifically. They've bought these licenses. They're going to put them out over and over again. They said that evergreen. Sure, there's some rehash there, but they're also trying to meet new consumers and trying to make it better. So there's people out there with Wave 1 cabinets that might be looking for a new option. Here you go with online, Wi-Fi connected, more games, a more realistic arcade shape. That's what they're going for. Those are the positives. The negatives, not everything's perfect. I mean, Centipede's got the horizontal screen, so if that bothers you, there it is. And also, there's not new games. Like you said, there's rehashes. So I know people were hoping this year with the Legacy line, we were going to see new Legacies. That's the other negative on this. We were hoping, like people were hoping for a Sega Legacy, maybe that would have Golden Axe plus a lot of other Sega arcade games. People were hoping for a Konami Legacy that maybe had Contra art or Frogger art. That's not to say they won't come. That's just saying they didn't come yet. So be patient. And also, don't have to buy every cabinet release. It's not an iPhone. That's the other thing. Not everybody has to buy every cabinet. It's up to you. Do you think the Arcade1Up Indiana Jones pinball rumors are real? Maybe. The tough thing about that is, what else would go on that cabinet? Like with Star Wars, they got 20 games to put on it. Like, I would buy that because it's a real arcade cabinet, but most other people won't, and if they release it with just the one game on it, then people are going to complain, not enough value for my money. So, Zohar, 100%. I think they're saving some stuff from E3. I think they're saving stuff that they're going to sprinkle out throughout the year. As a business model for Arcade1Up, it's best to keep momentum going. And the best way to do that is to announce everything in small incremental bits. The idea of the video game industry has changed so much in the last couple of years. No longer do we have a big release at CES and then another big release at E3. You've got Nintendo, who are really the pioneer in this, doing their own releases whenever the hell they want. So Nintendo's just like, it's a random Tuesday in February. Let's drop a bunch of games that no one's ever thought we would release. And I think other gaming companies such as Arcade1Up will follow in their footsteps. That's my guess. This, I don't think Nate UT will ever happen. I don't think you're going to be able to buy an Arcade1Up pinball that lets you add other games. I would be very, 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 very surprised. Very surprised. So anyways, guys, then we move on. Let's talk about the Pro Series. And this has been an interesting piece because everybody kind of guessed there would be a Pro Series. But I think the thing that took everybody off guard, learn from the NFL, stay in the news all 12 months. That's correct. WKRP in Cincinnati knows. E3 just announced it's not live again. There's people talking about it. E3 may be dead. The idea of having these physical conventions may be out the door. Yes, 9 Scorpions. Chef's kiss, 100%. I may be late to the stream, but I'd like to know where AtGames was at CES. That's kind of a tough one to answer. What I will tell you is AtGames do their own thing. I think AtGames will wait until National Owners Day, and then at National Owners Day, you'll see some announcements from them. I don't know where AtGames is going to go. I don't expect a lot from AtGames this year. I'm not trying to be down on them because I love AtGames. I have all their stuff. But I don't know if we're going to get much more. I think they'll continue working on the Legends Racer that they have coming out. They'll look at quality of life improvements for the equipment that they have out. But I don't think we'll get anything new from AtGames in terms of a new device. Other than, we've got that new upgraded core puck. We'll see. Maybe I'll be surprised. Maybe they'll go in the software route. I mean, they've done that with pinball before. Maybe they got more pinball up their sleeve. I would be happier with that if they don't have that new next device I need in my life, like a shooter cab or a racer cab. Maybe they've got more software that'll work with their existing devices, like new games for the Legends Ultimate and new pinball tables. So that would be my guess. We'll see National Owners Day, February 14th. So forget about your wife and your loved ones. It's AtGames time. That's the greatest tragedy right here. No more booth babes. No more booth babes. You and P-Dubs both not great at gaming. You and P-Dubs both. Anyways, let's get back to the Pro Series. So I think everybody knew it was coming. We all kind of knew it was coming. The only thing we didn't know was what game was going to be announced. And AtGames do their own thing. So anyways, the Pro Series is coming out. The thing that caught everybody off guard was Killer Instinct was the first title, and the timing on this is so weird. I love everybody, and I'm a huge Arcade1Up fan, but I love everybody coming up with this thought process that Arcade1Up announced the Killer Instinct Pro Series now because they wanted to save people from buying the 3/4 scale that would eventually want the Pro Series later on. They did not do that. If you go back, I made a video a little while ago, Arcade1Up, Killer Instinct, launching soon or releasing soon or releasing early. Their marketing slated a December release, so before their CES announcements. Now, things change, and maybe they did do this later, but if you look at the timelines and their marketing that they had out there, Killer Instinct was already supposed to be in consumers' homes at this time, so there we go. Zohar, console fanboy, $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. Pro cabs may not come out until next year, so buy the cabs, enjoy them now, and if you want the Pro, just sell the old cabs. Big deal. Zohar, you're cutting my legs out from under me. We're going to get there. But that's a really good comment, brother. 100% where I was going with that. And thank you again for the super chat. We'll get there, Zohar. Trust me. But let's talk about the Pro Series cab. So Killer Instinct was announced. And it's weird because much like I said earlier with the legacy cabinets and why they didn't release so many new things is really they were, what's the term? They were putting too much stuff out there in the market and really becoming their own. You know what I mean by that. They were flooding the market. That's not really the term, but anyways, they were creating their own competition with their own cabinets. So if they had put out 7, maybe that would have been better in terms of them selling that 7 than instead of them putting out 20. Sure, they might sell more units overall from the 20, but it demolished their chance at selling other ones. They saturated the market, so that's not what they were trying to do with the legacy with the announcements this time. They were trying to announce less, so they didn't saturate the market all at one time. Saturation, there it is, console fanboy. So what's funny about that is then they do this with the Pro Series for Killer Instinct, and essentially they become their own competition for the 3/4 scale. Like, if they didn't say anything about Killer Instinct in the Pro Series, no one would have said anything, and then everybody would have still bought the 3/4 scale. But by announcing the Pro Series at this point, they basically, I've heard people say they called Arcade1Up, they've called different distributors, and they canceled their series. Canceled their 3/4 scale cabinet to get the Pro Series. So it's a very funny move. Justin Console Kits, who's a genius, said maybe they're trying to create a data point. I don't know. Maybe they want to see what percentage of the market base is interested in Pro, and that's a good way to look at it. I don't understand the thinking by doing Killer Instinct now, other than it's probably the hottest and most interesting IP that they have now that the hardcore fan base is excited about. So if you're going to announce a Pro Series cab, go with the hottest property. Maybe. I don't know other than that. Like, it was caught me off guard that there was an official Killer Instinct Pro cab announced at this time. Now, going to Zohar's point there a couple minutes ago, a lot of people are saying, you know what, I'm going to cancel and I'm going to wait on the Pro Series. But it's not that simple because we don't know exactly when the Pro Series is going to come out. Like, we talked again about shipping delays. So Killer Instinct realistically is going to be coming out to most people in the next couple of days to early February. From what I'm seeing now, it's getting ready for shipping for a lot of people. I think you'll expect to see it in the next couple of weeks. Killer Instinct's going to be everywhere. But you don't know how long it's going to take to get your Pro Series. If you don't mind waiting, wait. If you don't like waiting, pick up the Pro Series now. But the funny thing is, I'm seeing people also take that approach with other cabinets. They're looking at it saying, you know what, maybe I won't get T2, and I'll just wait till T2 comes out in the Pro Series. That's fine. That's totally fine. But you don't have any timeline on when Terminator 2 is going to come out in the Pro Series, or if it even is. So right now what you're doing is Arcade1Up announced another product line, and you're assuming that everything that they serve in the 3/4 scale is automatically going to be in the Pro Series cab. I don't know if that's a fact, because from what I understand, the Pro Series cab is like a special edition, an anomaly. This is not one of their regular business items. It might become one if it's successful enough, but right now, there's only going to be 4 per year. 4 Pro Series cabs per year. Maximum. They're going to be sold directly from Arcade1Up, according to Twisted Chris, which sucks for me because I'm here in Canada, so I'm looking at $200 in shipping plus another $250 in duty and taxes and fees. So it's going to be very exclusive for the Pro Series for me, unless we get a retailer here in Canada or work something out. But, you know, you can do it with Killer Instinct. At least you've got somewhat of a soft timeline when it's coming out. They said spring, but spring might be the pre-order. It's not necessarily when it's going to come out. But then we don't know what else is going to come out. We have ideas that we think like a Street Fighter 2 is going to come out. We have ideas that obviously a Pac-Man will come out, but we don't know any of those details. So a lot of people are throwing that comment out there now. I'm just going to wait. I don't know if that is going to be, if you're going to be happy with the idea. Like that Mortal Kombat Online cabinet's coming out. I'm getting it 100% day one. But I'm hearing a lot of people say, well, I'm just going to wait for the Pro Series cab. And then people are assuming there's going to be a Pro Line Mortal Kombat this year. We don't know. Like, I haven't seen anything. I can't say for sure there's not. But I'm going to be honest with you. The only thing we know right now, which we might get this year, we might not get this year, is there's going to be a Killer Instinct Pro cabinet. It might not even come out this year. If Pro Series is $1,200, I'm out. No, Pro Series is, I think the goal is $1,000 to $1,200. That's what they're saying, but Robotron, Zohar, I got to bring this up. Excuse me, guys. Sorry. Zohar, if they come out with a Robotron cabinet, Robotron, not Smash TV. I know everybody loves the Smash TV art. Robotron cabinet. Pro, 3/4 scale. I'm all in. 100%. As long as the controls are right. Yeah. We're going to get to that in a minute because we're going to talk about what's coming in the future. But as for the Pro Series now, I really like this. And I'm going to be honest, as much as I've been on here telling people not to wait, it has changed my perspective on what I want to do because I do want the Pro Series cab. So maybe I will go in that direction. I'm in a weird place where I got to slow down on buying cabs anyway. So now this is a good time they announce this so I can start slowing down my buying. I'm full anyways. I got a kid coming. I got to build up my savings and start slowly replacing some of my cabs for pro cabs. But that also depends on availability here in Canada. If I got to buy them directly from Arcade1Up, I might not get any pro cabs unless it's 100% slam dunk, like a Pro Series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'd probably get that, right? One of those 100% must-haves. So, have they made more than one anniversary cab before? Will they do 2 different 30th anniversary cab? That's weird. I don't know. Pro or go home, Cheesy B. I know WKRP in Cincinnati was so excited about the Pro Line cabs. He's going to turf all his old cabs and bring in the new Pro Line cabs for the single reason they're riser free. No seams. So congratulations, WKRP in Cincinnati. And then, like I mentioned earlier, everybody's talking about that Pro Line Golden Tee. Is it a Pro Line? I mean, we know it's coming out. It's not officially announced, but it's officially, unofficially official. But is it a Pro Line cab or is it something else? I don't know. I don't know what it is. We'll have to wait and see on that because from what we understand, Pro Line are going to be sold directly through Arcade1Up, according to Twisted Chris, who hangs around with John D. So I believe him. I believe him, B. I do. We'll see. And last up, what does the future... I know, Mike Hockerts, I'm the worst. Savings, boo. I know. I'm a new man. This is the same new man who got a MVSX stand today and is waiting on the top to come any day now. New man. Riser free means heavier and more difficult to move. Not necessarily not great at gaming. It depends on how it works. Like if you look at the Legends Ultimate, you look at the iArcade, the thing about that is they're riser free, but you can unscrew the top and just take the top off the base and move them that way. And they're pretty easy to move. So it depends on how these are built. I'm interested to see that. From what I understand, it's one side panel connected the same way that Big Blue and Tron side panels are connected. So we'll see. How to Bachelor, I agree. Golden Tee doesn't look pro. Golden Tee looks big, doesn't look pro. So what about the future? I think the thing coming out of this that was a negative for most people was there was no new titles released. But Guys, you're not going to get a full year just of rehashes. Like I said earlier, Arcade1Up was just taking their time. They didn't want to saturate the market for the 3/4 scale. But guess what? Boom. There's a pile of stuff coming out. We know there is. NFL Blitz is going to happen this year. I would bet everything I have on that. They've been building on this for years. NFL Blitz is coming out. I think there's going to be a Smash TV cab. I think we're finally going to get track and field. Dragon's Lair finally going to come out. I think there's a lot more up the plate. There's definitely going to be another racer. There's definitely going to be another shooter this year. And Pinball is going to come back. A lot of people are saying version 2 from Pinball. And I know David Unqualified Critics put out a video about that. And he said, oh, we're getting a Pinball version 2. And a lot of people are speculating now and going wild with this, saying it's going to have an online store. It's going to have updated graphics. I think realistically, it's going to be the same Pinball we got last time. And the big upgrade might be the fact that it's going to have Wi-Fi and it's going to be able to connect to the online leaderboards. I know everybody wants that online Zen Studio store. I don't think you're going to get it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think you're going to get it. Philly Chick, Arcade1Up never makes all their announcements at CES. No, they never make all their announcements at CES. And I think people, like I'm trying to show here, people need to look at the positives of this. Look at how good those legacy cabs look. I forgot to talk about the pricing on those, so I'm glad you brought that up. Look at how good those legacy cabs look, and the addition of Wi-Fi. Sure, they're not perfect, but I mean they're moving in such a good direction. Anyways, I meant to mention this. I got to do it now before I forget it. So with the legacy cabs, the thing that everybody's saying right now is, what's the price point going to be? And people are expecting them to be $399. And I want to be clear on that. I don't think they're going to be $399. I think the lowest you're going to see these with the light up marquee and riser is $499. I think that's going to be the new base price with those features. Now, when these are the cheaper cabs, what I think that means is these are the Walmart $299 jobs. So in order to get a Walmart $299 job, it's probably going to be a legacy cabinet, and that means no lit marquee and no riser. And by $299, I just mean that introductory price, and that's probably going to move. The needle on that's going to move too. I think that'll be more like $349. That's my guess. Anyways, that's what I want to say about the price point. I'll talk more about that. I got a bunch of videos to make, a lot of talking head shit, so we'll see where things go. Oh, a new stool and fatigue mats for the Pro Series. Muddy Waters. We talked about this. When a stool has a back, it's no longer a stool, it's a chair. I don't necessarily like the new stool, the Pro stool. The fatigue mats are cool, but doesn't the stool defeat the purpose for needing the fatigue mat? Scott Bomer, here's the thing. I don't know. I don't know about that, because the only way that this will be true is if they improve the table to the point that the price also goes up drastically as well. So right now, I think you guys are at $8.99 US to buy a table, or is it $8.49? Someone will have to update me on that, because here in Canada right now, they're going up. Once all our stock is sold, they're going up to $9.99 here in Canada. So here's the thing. In order, they'd have to use a better chipset, something more along the lines of what's in the Legends Pinball, and have it programmed a little bit better and optimized better to run those games at 1080p. They got to get it up to 1080p. And then on top of that, they have to add the Wi-Fi. So when you do that, maybe make the screen a little bit bigger. If you go in that direction and make this more of a, I don't want to say pro table, but improve it, at that point, maybe if you sell these for around $1,500, and the only difference is you can choose the artwork you want with it, that's the point where I think they would initiate the online Zen store where you could add your games. Arcade1Up's model has always been, we're going to release a product, it's going to have a set number of games, and the way that we get more money is getting you to buy another table. So the only way I can see this is the pinball becoming much more expensive, where Arcade1Up no longer feels that it's viable to sell multiple tables to a consumer, and then they can hook you on one and get the best bang for their buck with the one product. More like what they're doing with the Infinity Game Table. So Pinball with Zen then becomes more like an Infinity Game Table than an Arcade1Up, if that makes sense. They have exciting things coming from Arcade1Up this year. I doubt it's just leaderboards. It'll be interesting. I don't know anything. I've got opinions, obviously, which I've shared with you guys, so we'll see what they do. Now, I hate to comment on this because obviously I'm advocating for myself, but I would like to see Arcade1Up get back into the habit of working with YouTubers. I think they did a really good job with Twisted Chris, but there's so many influences out there, and I'm not just saying myself, but there's so many, and I hate that term influencers, but there's so many great people on YouTube doing reviews, playing these games with people. It would be amazing to see them go back to working with these people, send some product out there, and get some people to review it. Me personally, I would love to be included in that, but I'm never going to ask for anything. If they sent it to me, I'd be very happy, but I would like to see more people in the community get it. There's a movement right now from some people to get Zohar, the Mortal Kombat Online cabinet, and I would agree with that, but I wouldn't stop at just Zohar. I think there's a ton of people out there that would be great candidates for review units for these cabinets, and I don't think Arcade1Up understands the impact. People, not just like me, because again, I'm not just fighting for myself, people like P-Dubs and 19K Fox, Console Kits, and everybody else in the community has on making people excited for these cabinets. I think it would be great if they could get some more of these review units out there. I know it's such a stupid thing for me to say because it looks like I'm begging, and I hope no one takes it that way, because there's lots of people out there that should get these cabinets to help Arcade1Up promote their product to this community. I would love to see it. So that's all I'm going to say on that. I hope no one takes that the wrong way. I would like to see more review units back out there with awesome creators. You guys remember how fun it was last year before Pinball hit, when Cool Toy and Retro Ralph both got those tables, and then we watched their reviews, and then Andy, the guy from, I can't remember the channel name now, but Andy got the Attack from Mars. How exciting was that, and how exciting was that for all of us? So I would like to see more of that again. This is kind of slowed off now. I know a lot of the companies are doing it, and they're focusing more now on return on investment with their units going out there. So it's not like hardcore people. Arcade1Up's a little bit different. Of course, they did that with Twisted Chris, but then they did one for Maximilian Dude and GameSpot, and that seems to be the direction a lot of these companies are going in, where they're going with maybe not necessarily people that are in the right demographic, but people that are going to help push the cabinet to eyes of people who wouldn't normally buy them. They think they got us locked down already, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, Arcade1Up Pinball, there's more coming. I don't know what it's going to be. I think people have their hopes up, and I think maybe people's expectations are above what's going to be delivered. So we will see. I don't think they should send the new Centipede to cab to Rexer. I think Rexer would like the look of it, but I mean, I already know how he feels about the screen orientation, so I don't think that that would be a good idea. Well, they could do everything they want with CNET, because CNET is near and dear to my heart. Yeah, guys, so, I think there's a lot coming this year. Me personally, I know that I don't think we'll see as much as last year. I think maybe Arcade1Up, I'll go back to that saturation comment. I go back to that saturation comment where Arcade1Up know that maybe they're competing against themselves sometimes, in that there may be limited dollars to go around in this area. So I think they're going to be smarter this year. Maybe we're going to get less, and maybe they're going to be more focused. So we'll see. We'll see what happens this year, but I think there's still a lot of cabs coming. Definitely going to be another racer. Definitely going to be another shooter. There's rumors that it might be House of the Dead. That's one I think everybody would agree that's a slam dunk. There's also rumors that the driving cab this year, I don't know what it's going to be. I mean, there's a contingent out there that want to see pole position. There's a contingent out there that want to see later 90s racers. I don't know. I don't know what their chipset can do. It's crazy. Console fanboy, we all want you to see you get it. Like, I hope somehow you'll get it. And, this is something you begged for years, so it's a good community story, too. It's not just a YouTuber reviewing the cabinet. There's a great community story behind it, so nobody would have a problem if you got it, brother. I think we're ways off from a pro shooter. Another one that I think is on the outside. I think Arcade1Up has really focused this past year on developing this whole esports fighting series. You see what's going on there with Rev and the guys over at the Waffle House and Put Your Quarters on the Glass. There's a real fighter movement that started with Marvel vs. Capcom. It's continued with Street Fighter. It's going to continue with Mortal Kombat. I've got a feeling that it's going to continue as well. I got a feeling there might be another fighting game coming out this year that's going to be online, and it's going to keep engaging that market. I've just got a weird feeling that we're going to get another Big Blue with a different Capcom fighting game. I've got a feeling. Also, another one that I'm wondering if they do another Big Blue. One thing that Ralph and Justin mentioned last year, and the thing is that's rough. These guys know. They know what's coming out. They'll say they don't, but they know because, all these guys with friendships know. They talked a lot about a Capcom beat-em-up cabinet last year, and I don't think it was just smoke. I think where there was smoke, there's fire. So maybe we're going to get a Big Blue or another Capcom cabinet that's an all beat-em-ups cabinet. That's a possibility, too. I don't know. The thing is, don't be too disappointed by Arcade1Up not having a ton of new releases right now. There's stuff coming. Maybe new Legacy cabinets. I've got a feeling there might be a new Konami Legacy cabinet. Might be. 100%. I would be very surprised if there's not. A Konami Legacy cabinet with, I don't know how many games, but maybe either Contra or Frogger art on the cabinet and with a vertical screen. I've just got a feeling. It's not going to be a beat-em-ups cabinet. So those people hoping that you're going to get Sunset Riders, G.I. Joe, Turtles, X-Men all on one cabinet, never going to happen, guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to break people's dreams there. Yeah, I don't want to say too much more than that. Guys, there's tons of stuff coming out. CES was just a moment in time. There's so much good that came from it. Positives of Arcade1Up moving in the right direction. Not everything's perfect, but Arcade1Up moving in the right direction. And this idea of the Pro line. So I'm wondering where it's going to go with that. I know that it's changed my direction on what I'll buy. I'm probably going to be a lot more selective buying cabs. I'm not foolish enough to think that I don't need to buy any cabs because Arcade1Up's just going to pile these these Pro cabs out because that's not what's being explained right now. Maybe I could be wrong, and in a year we're there. But I'm willing to wait and see what comes out and be very careful in moving the cabinets in my arcade out and replacing them with Pro lines going forward. No new IPO was a bad idea for Arcade1Up. Maybe. I think they thought the release of the online Mortal Kombat was going to be enough and new enough to get people hyped. To me, a lot of people always say CES is all about new inventions. So they're coming out with an improved Legacy line, which is going to be improved dollar-wise too. Get ready. But the Pro Series was the big announcement for CES. I think February, we're going to get some more Arcade1Up news. Get ready for that. I think you guys, NFL Blitz fans, will be excited about that. And a lot more to come in the future. Data East Legacy, Taito Legacy. Oh, man, a Taito Legacy with Zookeeper art. Chef's kiss. Anyways, guys, that's all I really want to say tonight. I'm putting a pin in my CES coverage. It's been a lot of fun. I wish I got to do more videos. I wish I wasn't stuck doing so much, getting the baby room ready, but I guess that's important too. You got to be an adult sometimes. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me tonight. You guys have been fantastic. I love watching you guys in the chat, and hopefully I kept you entertained for the hour I had you. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for watching. This is MichaelBtheGameGenie, and I'll talk to you next time. Also, aggressive beanie. I'll do my hair next time, guys. I need a haircut, but I'll do it next time. I promise.